Hello, it's Aunt Lainey's Kitchen. I'm here on a Monday, and it's a little late like last night, but this time I literally was prepped, like all the way prepped, ready to go. I did have to take a little power nap after work. I think the weather changed, just the rainy weather, all that stuff in August. It was like slapping me around. It had hands, y'all. It had hands. But I have hands too, and what I'm going to do today is I teased a little bit about those tater tots. And how I'm not going to bake them because even though it's cooler weather, it's still kind of a little humid. I don't want to be in here sweating, so I'm going to use the air fryer. Now, I was not a big air fryer person. I mean, people used them. I wasn't offended or anything like that. I wasn't like, the air fryer is evil, nothing like that. I was just like, no, I just like to bake things. I want it to be cozy. And then I got super busy, and then I was like, okay, I want it to be cozy, but I also want to be practical. I had to start mixing that up, and so as a result, we have got the tater tots that I'm going to do, and I'm going to season them a little bit. So anytime I'm seasoning anything for tailgating, I'm going to serve it to somebody else, I'm thinking about the vibe, I'm thinking about their allergies, all the things that I go through a long auntie list to make sure everyone's comfortable. And so I want to make sure that, like if I were cooking this for someone else, I'd ask, hey, does anyone have allergies? All that stuff. If you know me, you know this is exactly what I do. But because, if they say to me, you know what, I don't have any allergies, do what you need to do. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start with a little bit of, or just a little bit, because I'm putting in the air fryer, but I still want it to be, just have a little olive, not a lot, because I already have it kind of sprayed with Pam, but just like a little bit, because the Pam doesn't have the same kind of vibe that I want. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong, but I want a little bit more. So I'm going to take this lemon pepper and see here, get this lemon pepper down here. A little bit. Now you have to be careful with lemon pepper because a little bit goes a long way. That is not a lie. Although I do have some relatives that are like, you could put another tablespoon in, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is a little too lemon peppery. And I'm also going to put some chives in here because that's the vibe I wanted to have. But sometimes, let's say I wanted to have more of a taco vibe, then I would go ahead and put some taco seasonings on top of the tater tots, cilantro, lime, a little bit of chili lime, all of that stuff. And I also will do, because we are using lime. And again, I'm measuring nothing. I'm just going by my heart. So right now I'm not measuring anything. But if I were to measure, I probably would put no more than a tablespoon, but I don't even think I put that in. I think I put a teaspoon in there. So, because I like to use gloves, even though I'm not going to be sharing this particular meal, I want to use gloves because I'm getting all in there, and I've got acrylics and all that stuff, and I really do think about that. Okay, so we're just going to kind of move it around, kind of evening out the seasonings. That's why the oil kind of helps, I find, just to kind of get things in there. I'm not going to get too aggressive. No, maybe I'll put a little bit of these chives in here, but I feel like I did a lot with the lemon pepper. Really, a little bit does kind of go a long way, and I'll show that to you here. You can kind of see it's seasoned. Let's see here. Sometimes if I'm feeling if it were colder outside, we're in the beginning of the preseason. If it were colder outside, I would add some smoked paprika for some earthiness, and maybe a little bit of basil. If I kind of wanted to have that. So right now I'm going to put this in here in the air fryer, and I'm gonna put it in for maybe 15 minutes. We'll see, because I've kind of had them sit out just a little bit, so because they were kind of frozen solid. So whoops. Okay, here we go. Trying to escape. So before this morning and part of last night, I had everything prepped for this. So we're gonna do 15 minutes. I had it maybe 370. It's kind of my preference to do it that way. Okay, so now we're gonna move this over here. And I also, you can't see it, but I also have some green beans that I'm cooking. So what I kind of like to do, and I know this is so loud, so I'm sorry. What I kind of like to do is I want to have a vegetable in my lineup, in my weekly lineup, some kind of vegetable. Even if I'm just doing celery with every meal or carrot sticks, anything like that, I do like to have a vegetable. Especially as it gets colder outside. No, I don't usually do the fresh vegetables when it gets colder outside as an accompaniment to my meals necessarily. That might be a little snack or whatever, but I'm doing just regular green beans. My favorite kind of green beans are the French cut, the longer green beans, and I like them kind of like sliced in half, the French cut, and then the string bean. I love those. So those are my favorite. But, you know, again, with everything going on with the grocery prices and all of that stuff, I'm just really looking at what's on sale. So those were on sale, like the shorter green beans were on sale, and I feel like they do have a purpose. What I like to do with those, I like to serve them with some kind of potato. I mean, I've been known to do like a regular tater tot lightly seasoned with like green beans and like some kind of protein with it. I think that's really good, and I might put like a little bit of butter on the green beans. Not a lot, but just like a little bit of butter, a little bit of black pepper on the green beans. So yeah, that's kind of what I like to do. Sometimes if I'm feeling super fancy, I will sprinkle like a little bit of Parmesan, like a Parmesan Reggiano on there, and it's been a while since I've done that, but that's, you know, but if I didn't have that, I'll be honest, I would use the powdered Parmesan cheese that, you know, they always like try to, when I was a kid, they try to force on you on spaghetti night and everything, so I would use that. I got no shame in my game. It tastes good. Okay, now what's up? You're like, what's up next? Okay, I will tell you what is up next. Up next, I have got I can work on the couscous while we're talking. So I made this couscous. It's garlic couscous. I didn't make it from scratch because I've only kind of done that one time, like maybe in 2009. I'm still traumatized. It was edible, but it looked crazy. So I'm like, I'm just gonna leave that for other people, okay? And so I used, there's a box that you can get, like a little small box you can get from Aldi's, like there. I think it's olive oil and garlic couscous. Pretty, you know, it's pretty reasonably priced so far. So that's what I use, and I find it's really, really versatile. So I did two things today on lunch as far as my prep. I went and I grilled, I actually did grill. I grilled the butter lettuce that I showed you last night. I grilled it. So I'm going to show you two different versions depending like how you want to eat this. And I did season it a little bit. So this is like, it's not a full-on lettuce. It's kind of been like, I don't want to say compromised, but it's you know, it's been grilled, and I put it in the refrigerator. So we're going to just kind of like lightly open it up. Now I like butter lettuce because you can wrap, wiki. I don't know why I'm so corny. You can wrap ingredients up with it. You can kind of eat it just as like a salad, but I think it has such possibilities. So one of the possibilities is if you want more of a savory feel, and if you're someone who's not a big vegetable person. Now, is it, I mean, ideal, I think, would be to have like, you know, fresh lettuce to kind of eat and, you know, all that stuff. But if you're trying to like get into vegetables, maybe starting off on the savory track, might kind of help you kind of get a love for the vegetable, and then maybe you can graduate onto a fresher, like kind of like fresh lettuce. I mean, it's all fresh, but you know what I mean, like non-cooked lettuce, right? Raw is probably a better word to say. Okay. Now, these are sauteed here. So I've got sauteed here, but I don't like to put sauteed upon sauteed anymore. So because these are sauteed, I'm going to go ahead and use the fresh ingredients that I still have. I'll just do a base because now it's not really about the presentation. Right now it's going to be about taste. Like I want to, when I bite into that couscous, I want to like taste the fresh veggies underneath. And one thing about green onions, like if I don't have anything else to use to make it kind of like, you know, if let's say I didn't have the yellow pepper, the orange peppers, and I just had kind of the green onion for the like the little bit of you know, pop flavor or whatever, I would use them. But I like to use green onions as toppers, not middle, because I think they work best as a topper. Okay, now we've got that going on. So now I'm just going to put this couscous, this seasoned couscous, on top. And something about couscous you need to know, because it's been in the refrigerator, it will clump up. So you have to make the couscous a little bit of a crumble. There's a crumble situation going on. That's why I'm glad I wear the gloves. But yeah, it's a crumble if you've refrigerated it and all that other stuff. Because I did cook this yesterday. So here we go. We're just going to do like a little bit of a crumble with the couscous. Now I haven't cooked the turkey yet. I'm probably going to wait till this weekend because I cooked up the chicken. So we're just going to put this on top. And if you wanted to, if you were feeling super extra, and I don't know how extra you guys are feeling, but I'm always feeling extra. So I'm gonna go ahead. Remember those mushrooms I made last night? Yes, you do? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna bring those out. Woo. And we can use that. We can top this. We can top, see this mushroom right here? Now we've got kind of like a mushroom couscous situation, and that's what we did. And this is all, it's all gonna be, it's gonna be savory with the exception of the fresh kind of veggies that I have there, just so it's not so, because I think sometimes it can just turn soggy, and I'm just not, I don't want to have soggy food, although again, it tastes good, but it just becomes a texture thing with me, so I'm like, I'll just pass on that. So this is the sauteed version, and again, I will take pictures after this. I did post the pictures of the little tailgate treats that I made last night, and so I will put this in the refrigerator, and then I'll post a pic. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to make it fresh and exciting. Oh man, Cool in the Gang, they were amazing. That was my first concert that I ever went to. Okay, what's up, Ryan? Oh, so what I've got now, because I used, for the other one that I did, the other kind of couscous butter lettuce thing I did, I used fresh because I had made those, because I'd sauteed the butter lettuce leaves, so that's why I did, so that's why I used the fresh veggies. But because now we've got a fresh situation with the lettuce leaves, I'm gonna do the I'm gonna do the sauteed veggies, because that's gonna give it a nice texture, you know, that I kind of want to experience there. And let's see here. Oh, I was like, where's the couscous? Okay, I actually did 2 of these, and I don't have a lot of couscous here, but you know what? Honestly, with couscous, a little bit goes a long way with couscous. So we're just gonna put that in here. Now, could you tailgate with this and put it in a boat and do all that stuff and just kind of wrap it up? You could literally wrap this up because of how the lettuce leaves are. You could wrap this up. No shame in your game if you decide to do that. And also, you're more than welcome to, actually I probably should just put all this in here. You're more than welcome to put like a ground meat or even like some chopped meat in there. As I stated before, I made my, I'm not making my ground turkey until this weekend, but I did do some chicken, but I'm just not really, with the couscous, I'm just not really feeling chicken. With couscous, I'd want to have a ground meat in there. I know it sounds really silly, and I've had couscous with kind of sliced meats, but I prefer, just because all the texture kind of goes, to have it, you know, be with a ground meat. And let me see, what else am I doing here? I don't want to put cheese on top, because I don't like cheese with couscous. That's just kind of my thing. But I'm going to come back with the other option, which is to toss one of these mushrooms on here that I made. Kind of do it like that, toss it on here, and then there you go, and you've kind of got like a salad situation. You've got like a savory salad situation mixed with fresh. It's going to be really good. And there you go. And also, if you wanted to, okay, this boat actually was housing something in this boat, so that's why it looks kind of jacked up, but I don't want to waste anything. We'll go ahead and you can put this in this boat, right? And then what you could do, and here's what I would do if I were going to serve these, like for real, I would slice these mushrooms to make them more palatable. I'd probably slice this mushroom into 4ths, and then that way you can kind of hold it up like this. Okay, I need you to, like, in your mind, just imagine that I've, you know what? Why do you have to imagine when I have a knife? I can just totally do this right now. Okay, hang on. I kept forgetting, I'm like, wait a minute, I'm in my kitchen. I'm not in the field or anything. Let's see, do I have a knife here? Where did my knife go? One moment. I'm back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right here is I'm gonna slice this, as I said, and I'm actually gonna slice it. So now I've got stuff coming out. That's okay. I've got the ingredients from this coming out, but that's okay, because we're gonna put this all in the butter lettuce wrap here, makeshift butter lettuce wrap. And now I'm going to demonstrate this again. So I've got the couscous in here, and you can make these smaller, but I just, so now look, you can lift it as a wrap. What? Yes. And you can probably also, like, where did my taco holders go? I can't find my taco. Like, I'm looking up, I'm scanning for the taco holders. And you know what's so funny is I actually reorganized my kind of kitchen shelves so I can't see them. They're somewhere, I just can't see them. But yeah, again, I'll just demonstrate this again. You can put this in a taco holder if you want to be fancy like that. Put it in a boat with your flippy floppies, and then there you go. You got something fresh to eat. You got some veggies going on. So there is a health aspect in there, right? And now we're just still waiting for the tater tots, because I'm gonna wow you with these tater tots. You're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I never knew it could be that way. We're just going to put these in a holding because I actually have to take pictures after this of these. This thing right here is like, girl, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know. What am I doing? Okay, there's that. Put this here, and I'll be taking pictures of these and posting them as well. And again, got to be careful when you do the couscous and you put it in the refrigerator. So like you just made it, it's gonna crumble. That's why it's important to kind of use gloves, or you can break it up with a spoon, but I just prefer to use gloves. Okay. I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator and sort it out later. Okay. Let's see. So we're still waiting on the tater tots, but that's okay because I can kind of like mise en place, get my stuff together while we wait. Oh wow, that was quick. Okay, so we have got the tater tots, and they're gonna be hot, just FYI. So don't be a hero, use tongs to get them out. Okay, look at this nice crisp. I'm going to show you this crisp. I don't know if you can see the crisp. If you're just joining me, I have these, I'm doing the tater tot. We're going to do like the loaded tater tots. I'm doing them from the air fryer because even though it's not super hot, I could bake. It's a little too humid. I'm sweating already. I'm like, dang it. I'm just over here sweating. Okay, I'm just going to give you behind the scenes here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is, these are really hot. Now, generally, what I would do, if I was bringing them out of the oven, they would already have all the things loaded because I would like bake them together. But because I use the air fryer, but I feel like more people are probably, especially during this early part of the football season, because we're still in preseason and it's kind of hot outside, they're gonna be like trying to save time and trying to save, their air conditioning bill, because they don't want to have like their house be like 85 degrees. So now I'm going to use one of my boats, which I love, these little biodegradable boats. I use them. I have holiday parties that I go to and every year, and I always bring them, and people love it. So yeah, I always have these on hand because you never know when you're going to need like a boat situation. Okay. So is this going to fit underneath here? It is. Now that I've got my boat, I'm going to bring over the other stuff that I have. So these right here, these are the sauteed veggies that I'm actually going to I'm going to mix these in with the tater tots here. Now again, if I were baking these, they'd be layered because that's how I do it. But I'm not layering anything. So I want this to be very realistic of kind of a preseason, early season, tailgate situation where a lot of times when you're like, in my experience, a lot of people are like, yeah, I want to watch the Chiefs, and then no one can decide on the bar. So then someone who's got the biggest basement or, the house or whatever that can hold people, like, you know what, let's just have it at my house. And there you go. Thank goodness for those people. Okay, so because I would like to put a protein in here, but I don't have to, I've got pepperoni. So what I did is I went ahead and I used a cast iron skillet and I just put them on for maybe like a few minutes. So there's crunch to them, but they're not like all crispy. They're not super crispy. So let's see here. Hang on. Now I used, there's a lot in here because I still have more of the tater tot. Well, I'm like, that's not the right one. Okay, so now with this, if you want to be all like, I want a better layer. If you're someone who really wants the layer, that's fine. You can kind of move this around a little bit. Or you could use tongs as well to kind of move that around. I didn't do that. And then I've got my cheese situation. So now in an ideal world, because I don't like melted cheese is fun, but I'm also good when the cheese is like, it melts because of the heat of the food, not necessarily because I microwaved it, but I will look, I'll microwave something too. I'm not trying to be a purist here, but here we go. And as I talked about before, these green onions. I like green onions as a topper situation. So you top them up and hang on, topper. Remember that show? Wasn't there a show called Topper and they were like ghosts or something like that? I feel like am I imagining that? I feel like it was called Topper. Okay. And here we go. And I'll take pictures of this as well. So this is kind of like the loaded tater tot situation right here in this boat. We're on a boat right there. See how easy that was to make? It was super easy. If it were colder outside, I would have baked them. I would have layered them. I might do that when it gets colder outside, show you how I make them when I'm using an oven. But really, really easy. You just make a bowl, because here's the bowl that I use. I still have some in here. Make a bowl of this. Or if people are like, they trust you, they're like, hey, you could probably do like, some like do a boat of them or something like that. Just kind of have those out and ready to go. And also in this boat, it's microwavable. Okay, always put your stuff in microwavable things. Anytime I go to a party and I see that stuff is not microwave safe, I am side-eyeing people. Okay, I'm side-eyeing you right now. See, that's the side eye, because it's so easy to do. Like, again, biodegradable whenever you can, because generally that is microwavable if you want to put a little bit more heat on your food. And I don't, certain food I'll eat cold, but other food I feel like it needs to have some kind of warmth to it. Even if it's just like an old school oven warm over. If you're of a certain age and like microwaves were like, a lot of times I knew people that had microwaves, but they only used them for certain things. They weren't for like everyday use, because those are the big microwaves that were like the Buck Rogers microwaves. So they weren't really meant for like, everyday use like that. They're like industrial looking and stuff. So you know what I'm talking about. A lot of times we all got that oven warm over. Okay, and then also I did make so the strawberry sauce I talked about last night. I did make it. I made the compote. I did that off camera, and that would go really well with, I'll take a picture of this like this week, but I've got this right here. That's going to go well with the slices of lemon cake that I have, like the lemon cake bars. I sliced it up. That's going to be a good, like a dipping situation, because, again, we want to dip, we want to have fun. You can put it in one of the biodegradable boats, something like that, or you can even probably serve it on like some kind of plate. What's up, Cousin Connie? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, that's kind of like what I got going on. I mean, this is kind of a shorter show because I'm like, well, I kind of did what I said I was going to do. And so that's the show for this week. I guess I did 2 this week, and then I'll see you. I'm going to be going to Pittsburgh, where my mom went to college. And so I'm going to kind of tool around there. There's some places I'm going to check out. They have a seed library in their public library. And my little auntie heart is like pitter-pattering because that is so cool. Now listen, I'm not growing anything else because it's all I can do to keep the 6 kitchen herbal plants that I have. And then also the orchids. I did join the Orchid Society, so I do have a meeting this weekend. But man, my orchid is it's pushing me to the brink. I feel like my orchid is punking me out. It's like, ha. Because some weeks it'll be like, yes, I'm back. And I'm like, yes, you're a baddie. Then other weeks it's like, girl, I don't know if I'm going to be here for long. I'm like, no. So yeah, that's why I'm like, that orchid is it's got all my attention. I was able to go buy another basil plant. So fingers crossed on that. Man, basil plants for me, they do so well. And then they just start going downhill. And I'm like, dang it. All my other plants will be fine. But I'm like, even the orchid was doing better than my other basil plant. I'm like, dang it. So anyways, enough about that. I'm still cooking the green beans over here. I'll have that as, you know, part of my meal prepping and all of that stuff. So you guys have a great night, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.